Here we go once again, guys. What an awesome day. I mean, what a day, what a day. Only two stocks on the list today. It was Netflix and TTD. But before we get too far, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and move forward with this call. Okay, guys, so today we had two stocks on the list. We did miss a couple, but honestly, I only want to trade at most two stocks at any given time, just because it makes it easy to manage and it's just easier to make sure that you're making more money when you have less stuff to distract you. So you guys saw on the last video where I did that pen and paper trade on Shop. You see how much you have to go through in the first place. So having too many stocks up at once is just gonna distract you from making money on the one that is actually gonna pay off for you. So one thing I would tell you to do is just stick to no more than two stocks. If you can't, just stick to the one. If one is not working out, cut it and move on to the next one. But let's go ahead and play this morning's call so you can see what we covered this morning before we executed the day.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. I picked two today, and those two are going to be Netflix and TTD. The markets are looking pretty solid today as the earnings kick off. Volume you can see is starting to pick up. The earlier the time, as you can see, every time we reference it around this time where it is, so you're probably going to start noticing that it's going to start picking up. Again, if you're logging every day, you're going to see where the normal actually ends up being. But so far it looks like it's gonna start increasing, especially going into next week when we have the fangs reporting earnings and stuff. So expect definitely volume to increase, which should increase the movement of stocks overall, possibly to the upside for now until the VIX starts to reverse. So when the VIX hits that 12.6 or 12 and change that I mentioned, that's really where I'm expecting it to go. But it already made its way back pretty decently, since it hit the highs of 21, 22 and change or whatever. So, at any moment from now through the end of the year, we may get a massive spike on the VIX. So we just got to be ready for it. You know what I mean? So the VIX right now, it is making its way down as I've shown before. Let me zoom out of this chart here to the 10-minute. So the VIX is definitely making its way down. I still have my alert, hasn't been hit yet. But when it does hit my alert, I'm probably gonna start buying VIX calls. If it does hit my alert. My alert is set down here at 12 and change all the way down here. So as you can see, it's definitely been making its way down pretty nicely, which has been pushing the stocks and the markets overall higher. So for today's list on earnings, we did have quite a lot, but I just went with Netflix. It's one we know, and obviously these are going to be on my watch list overall. So if I see volume coming into them, I may jump over and take a look at them, but I am going to try to stick to the ones that I've already planned for because it's just the easier thing to do overall anyways, okay? So looking at Netflix, Netflix had a massive gap up overnight. But as soon as I looked over to the analysis tab here, the first thing I noticed is, and you're looking at the candle after the center line, guys, because it reported here yesterday, right? Boom, red candle. Look at this. It gapped down, push up, and then ended up the day red. Gapped up, and it was red. Gapped up, pushed lower, ended up the day green. Gapped down, and pushed higher. So on the gap downs, it likes to push up. On the gap ups right here, last Q3 pushed, gapped up, and sold off for the day. So that's what I'm looking at. That's why I put that on the notes. This one opened pretty flat and pushed lower. So this is already this year, and this year, okay? Again, this one gapped up and pushed lower. This one gapped lower and just was a choppy day. So this is the very last one. But overall this year, all of them have been sell-offs. So I am almost more inclined for the put side. But obviously we are planning for both sides. So it doesn't matter what it wants to do. We're just going to go with it, whatever it wants to do. So for Netflix, I got my entries at 307 to the downside and to the upside 311.57. Followed by right here where it opened, the pre-market open. That's going to be my confirmation, followed by my second confirmation right at 316 and 318. So these are pretty tight to each other, guys. It can reverse at any of these levels, so I'm just being careful. So that's why they're there. But overall, I am expecting a $15 move or higher on Netflix for the day, either up or down. But it does need to break these levels here on the upside. So these are pretty tight to each other. But to the downside, once it breaks this level, the next level should be 298 without any issues. It should break through 298 without any. I mean, it should break through here, go down to 298 without any issues. This is the next level I'm paying attention to. And again, 298.74. Just zoom out on your charts so that you can see why I referenced that level. Followed by the pivot, followed by the previous day's high, previous day's close, and pivot, pivot, pivot. Again, I'm expecting $15 plus move. So once it breaks, if it breaks to the upside, from here, just I would literally go by that. And I know I added 325.50, but after that, you can start adding based on that number if you're still in. Again, try to be patient with your winners if you can. And that's it. I mean, that's if you're layering in. But to the downside, we already have our lines already all there. To the upside, once it breaks this level, just give yourself a nice target. 325.50 it's a solid target, honestly. And then 330, 335, etc. Just so the upside is not as there's just too many places they could stop. So I'm just expecting $15 to $20 move possibly on Netflix today. The other one I like for today is TTD. TTD lately has had very decent moves. It moves around $9 per day. You guys can see it has very decent moves, trends very well. Yesterday, it had a massive push lower, broke through 200 EMA, still below the 50 EMA. So it's pushing down very nicely. But days like this tend to be followed by green candles. This is not a reversal candle. I'm not trying to say that just expect calls, calls, calls. But it is already gapping up. So it should be a fairly easy play. Overall, as you can see, it's not that much of a wiki stock. Usually it has solid candles, solid bars, pretty solid bars. When it does challenge you, it's very little challenge on these ones. Like this one, even this one would have been a nice push lower. You should have still been able to make decent money on that one without any issues. But overall, TTD does move fairly steadily, and it works well for the box plays. As you can see here, boom. You can see here this one yesterday, boom. Even this one, boom, boom. You see, so this one works very well. When you have your lines drawn, like this one here, it didn't continue to go, but you can see where it paused. You can see it had a double top. So even if you would have entered on the double top, this push lower was a very smooth move. So unless it has like a choppy day like this, but even here, if you got in on the break, it had a decent move enough for you to make some money. So TTD is awesome. It comes up a lot on a lot of our scanners. So definitely keeping an eye on it. And my entries for TTD today are the break of this pivot. And honestly, I want to use it for both up and down if it breaks up and if it bounces off of it, honestly. Kind of like the NVIDIA play yesterday. But I know I put it here on the notes that this is what I'm looking at. But honestly, it's probably going to be just a pivot for either side. I kind of want to see it break or bounce, whichever way it decides to go. Because I kind of want to get in before it gets here. So if it does reverse, I can lose less. And then to the upside is clear. Obviously, if it breaks this pivot, it's probably going to be a green candle. Maybe give up half of the move or come back up here. So for the break higher, I'm looking at this line here. 202 and change, 202.60, followed by pivot, followed by previous day high, followed by previous day's close. And then to the downside, break here, previous day's close, key area to watch. Make sure it doesn't bounce around the close and or previous day's low, followed by this key level here, 189.74, followed by 185 and 184. So those are the two that I'm looking at today, and that's pretty much it, guys. Do you guys have any questions before?
All right, guys. So that was this morning's call. That is what we covered this morning. And basically, this is what we're looking for, man. We're looking to execute on stocks that we've planned out. We've planned what is likely to happen on them. You know, TTD didn't pan out today, but it still gave us plenty of opportunity to make money. I was able to get some profits on the way down, but it just stopped at a random spot. It wasn't. It didn't continue to go to the areas, the key levels I was looking for. I should have took a little bit more time to analyze that midway area, but it is what it is, guys. I'm not always going to get them all exactly. I'm not always going to get them exactly to the penny. So TTD was one of those that if you got in, you may have had to get out before it put you back in the red. But Netflix definitely hit a lot of our targets and definitely brought us down to make some really good money. So from where it opened, hit a high of around 310 or so, 307. It came down and it definitely hit that 292 mark, which is pretty much right around that mark I was talking about. $15 move, guys. That's a lot of money to be made on a $15 move when it comes to Netflix. So if you were not able to make some money on Netflix today on this move, I don't know what to tell you guys. Once again, hit that, smash that like button, guys. Give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. You know, we have a massive list coming up for tomorrow. Going into Friday, this list right here, we have my two favorite stocks on the top of the list. Amazon and BKNG. So going into the Friday, I am really excited to see that both of these made this list because this is going to be an awesome, awesome Friday from the looks of it so far. And then looking at Disney here, is also another one that's on here. Plus, on a couple more, I see a couple financials, including Netflix, is on this list. So I'm really, really excited for tomorrow because from what I see here, it's going to be a busy, busy Friday, guys. So forget about today because the day is over with. So if you didn't make money on today, take a look at this list. Keep an eye on these, study these charts, and make sure you execute with precision tomorrow because it is going to be a fun day. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.